Hello, and welcome to the Pocket Network Podcast, a podcast that inspires real estate professionals like you to innovate your world. I'm your host, Margarita Petrosian, and each week I will be talking to professionals in the industry about common challenges, about hot topics in the industry, and so much more. So put in your AirPods, phone in your pocket, and prepare to be inspired. Because this week, for our first ever podcast, I have with me Edward Hakobyan, who's the co-founder of the Pocket Network and also our very own real estate guru. Edward, thank you so much. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
Margarita, first and foremost, I'd like to congratulate the Pocket Network team for successfully launching the first podcast. I'm sure it's going to be super exciting, super great content. We're going to be hyper focused on trying to bring the best material to agents and all industry professionals. So I can't wait to see what you have in store. You're going to be a great host, and we're going to bring a lot of great and successful people from the industry to share their input and their advice and all the great stuff that they've done so that other people can learn from them and grow their own business.
Yes, we have an amazing lineup already, and I'm just so excited to learn more from not just you, but all the guests we have coming in.
Definitely. Can't wait for that. Super excited.
So Edward, let's just jump right in. So why don't we start off by you just telling us a little about your personal journey?
Yeah, so my personal journey, see, I came into real estate, I became an actual agent at the end of 2020 during a very interesting time, I'm sure, in everybody's lives. COVID was going on, we were in a pandemic, and my daughter was born actually last year in July, so I've had a pretty hectic year. Before that, I've been doing sales for about 8 years. Held management roles during those times, so I'm very familiar with the sales process. But I had been super intrigued by real estate for a much longer time. Just last year was the year I guess I decided to jump in.
Yeah, and I really admire that about you because last year, end of 2020, like you were saying, everyone was freaking out. Everyone, especially when it came to the real estate industry, everyone was saying, oh, it's a bubble, it's about to pop, everyone's going to lose their homes. Meanwhile, we have Edward, who's like, oh, this is a great opportunity. I'm going to take this to globalize, to expand instead of looking at the downside of things.
Right. See, with me, I always view stuff from a different point of view. The original reason why I had decided to jump into real estate and get my license was not particularly to fully focus on selling real estate and growing my career in that field, but also for investing for myself and my friends and family. So that was also another curious topic for me. So I believe that if I had my real estate license, it would be much more easier for me to find the better deals and first help myself, because my long-term goal in life generally is to own multiple passive income properties, so that I can, retire very early. Obviously, everybody's goal is that, but also just to help out friends and family, and along the way, make some sales if I can, if anybody needs help, or if I stumble across a customer. But like I said, it wasn't my main focus to go full-time into real estate. It was more of a, let me have this in my back pocket just so I can, if need be, I can use it and I can, help customers or help friends and family.
It's interesting, actually, because more than ever now, I don't know if it's because information is so readily available on the internet, but I've been hearing a lot of young people who go and get their real estate license, and their goal is actually not to sell homes. They just want to educate themselves. They want to be confident when they're making such a big investment. And also, I feel like people now are finally recognizing that this is generational wealth. It's not just, oh, I'm just going to have a few properties, make some quick money on the rent, and just be chill in my day job. Right. But no, it's people thinking about their kids, thinking about what a huge opportunity it really is to own a home. So that's also, for anyone listening, you might not be a real estate agent trying to sell a home, but just listening to this podcast as well, on the side having your real estate license, you can really learn more about what you plan to do for your future.
Exactly, because real estate, it's very general and broad at the same time, because you can be just the agent and then grow yourself to be a broker and build a team and do great sales. Don't get me wrong, it's a very great opportunity for anybody to do make very well income in that and do that for a very long time. But also there's so much more behind it that if you actually sit there and do some research, read a couple books here and there. Stepping back a little bit, I actually really fell in love about the whole real estate process after reading Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and I'm sure so many other agents and investors can say the same, because that book really opens your mind up and opens your eyes. And along with today's technology era that we're living in, and all the information is available online for literally everybody to read, from young kids all the way to grown adults, they can feed off so much information and learn so much quicker than they would have in the past. I feel like that's why a lot of people are turning to real estate as one great way to make money. If you're great at sales and you have that passion, that fuel, that fire in you, of not just about the money aspect of it, but the satisfaction you get of handing keys to a buyer, of that close of escrow, and you can successfully tell your seller that we're done with this. You've sold your house. Here's a bunch of cash. Now go do whatever you want. But there's also the other side of it too. So it goes back and forth to both. It just depends on what you want to do, but the possibilities are endless with it. It just depends on what path you want to take.
Yeah, and like you said, books are a great resource. Podcasts are another great resource.
Exactly.
So speaking on that, what do you wish you had when you were starting out? What resources do you wish you had, or you saw a lack of?
Right. So funny you mentioned that, because when I went in to when I got my license, and I obviously tried to study the market and the sales aspect of the real estate game a lot, just so I can learn from it. And I obviously did my fair share of sales too, and I learned a lot from those. But one thing I noticed, especially in the pandemic, is in my market, say the top 5 to 10% of agents, their market share grew from 25-30% of the regular times that no pandemic, sales were normal. It wasn't a buyer or seller market. It was even. It grew substantially to over 50 to 60% of the market share became these 5 to 10% of the top agents. So I had to step back for a minute. Like I said, I think about it from different aspects, and I try to figure out why is this happening, right? Because I was busting my butt trying to get the next sale, with this different aspects, and talking to my mentor, talking to other agents of what's going on, what are these agents doing different, where all of a sudden they were doing 3-4 transactions a month in 2019, 2018. Now they're pushing double, triple their figures in a very hot seller's market, where there are not a lot of homes going on the market, and buyers are fighting ridiculously to try to get the home.
Yeah.
But these agents are standing out, and everybody else was sort of disappearing in the wind. Which brought me to notice that a lot of these agents, a lot of them were listing and selling to the same agents, and the listing agents were the same. Let me rephrase that. The listing agents were the same, or from the same team, or they knew each other somehow and they were referred to each other. And same along with the buyers. The buyers and the seller agents somehow all of a sudden happen to know each other, happen to work with each other in the past. I've lost a lot of agreements, contract agreements with my buyers, because come to notice, we may have been the best offer on the table, not even just highest offer money wise, but best terms and everything else involved. But we had lost the contract due to the fact that the listing agent had some type of connection with the buyer's agent. So
it sounds like it's all about networking from what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was the seller's agent wanted to make their life easier and not have to deal with someone that they didn't know. They didn't know how they work.
Yeah.
They didn't know which escrow company they would choose. They didn't know if they would follow through with the escrow process. They didn't know how quickly they would submit paperwork. So they were taking a step back and making their life easier and saying, hey, I know, say Margarita, for example, let me just I'll tell them what to do with the sale. Mm-hmm. And obviously all of this stuff is not ethical, but you would notice this in the industry, where all of a sudden the people that were barely producing anything, they were active, they were producing quite well, but boom, jumped up to drastic changes. And that was one of the biggest reasons that I've noticed.
And while you were doing this research, I have actually 2 questions on this, because I think we're getting to something really important here. So number 1, did you find it easy to network yourself just starting out? And number 2, when you were doing this research, was there an overwhelming amount of information, or did you feel like there wasn't enough out there?
So For your first question, when I went into the industry, I obviously didn't know a lot of people, and I was doing this part time, so I wasn't, spending too much time on this. I
Yeah.
wasn't going to every open house and meeting all the agents and stuff, but I was trying to do my best. So all the weekends and every open house that I can attend to, I wouldn't just go to go see the house. I would definitely try to get in contact with the agent because I noticed this trend that was going on. I'd give them my business card, talk to them a little bit, try to figure out as much details as I could. And that's where the networking aspect sort of came from.
Yeah.
There obviously weren't much events going on or nowhere where there was these meetups or conferences where we can attend and network with, say, our community agents. So that was the one way that I would try to do it, is try to get them, let them know my face, through the mask.
Yeah.
And put a name to it. So next time, if I need to, if I come across them on a next sale or I need to discuss something with them, they know who I was, and I try to present myself the best way possible. And that sort of helped out, but obviously it wasn't enough because of what was going on. And for the overwhelming part of it, it wasn't necessarily overwhelming. It's just as a newer agent, there is a lot of information coming in, and you need to sort of filter out what you can use, what you can do, what you can't do, what you shouldn't do, what you think you should do, right? All of these stuff, you filter it out, and you try stuff. You try one thing, okay, it doesn't work. You try another thing, all right, that doesn't work. You flip your script, you do this, you do that. So it's all about trying different stuff. There is no one set sort of program or a script or networking opportunity or way of doing things, right?
Yeah, of
For
course.
each agent, one hat does not fit all in real estate. You literally need to find out what works for you and implement it as best as you can.
Yeah.
Because the next person that comes along and say you become a very successful agent by doing what you did, that next agent that comes along most definitely will not be able to do that because they need to find their own ways of doing things and make it happen for themselves, customize it for themselves.
Yeah.
So that it was overwhelming, but if you can filter it in a proper way and not get demotivated, obviously, because as a newer agent, a lot of them tend to get very demotivated. That's why there's like a 97% drop rate within the first 5 years in the industry because, people don't take in the correct advice or they don't know how to take in the correct advice. And they just drop off and they get overwhelmed and they're like, this isn't for me, when it may actually be for them. They just haven't had the right set of tools to implement
That's
them.
interesting. It sounds like what you're saying is, first of all, with all the information, if there was more of an organized way where it was presented to you and you weren't just Googling things and trying to find your own facts, if you had some kind of a feed where experienced agents or people that really know about the industry were feeding you this information, you would be more successful or you would feel more prepared. And also, speaking about the networking aspect, it sounds like a lot of people that you were meeting were not open to the networking possibility, or they were kind of stuck on the people that they know work already, that they've worked with, that they've had success with. So if you had some kind of a centralized software or program where you could do all of this, you could filter all of this, especially during the pandemic, it would be easier for it to be right in your pocket, right?
Right, exactly. So a lot of brokerages do have their platforms or their groups where a lot of information does feed through there. My broker is EXP Realty, and we have our own platform on Facebook, and we have a bunch of different groups where people post and socialize,
And that's all within your firm.
All within EXP Realty. But see, the thing with this is EXP Realty, for example, has one set of teaching, one set of mindset that they implement in their agents and one set of doing certain things, and that goes to all of their agents, and their agents feed off of that, right? But maybe that doesn't fit me, for example, right? Maybe that doesn't work for me. Now, but I really love the brokerage. So what do you do in this situation, right? And what you mentioned, that a lot of people were, you're right, a lot of people were not really open to meeting new people and networking with them, because in real estate, it's interesting. Agents have this thing where like they're very defensive, and it's like a dog-eat-dog world out there. But no, really, if they open up and they conversate and they actually try to help each other out in any transaction, doesn't need to necessarily be in this one or a future one, in anything in general. If you try to help another person out, first and foremost, that person that you helped gets a load of information and they'll be very thankful. And later on, I believe that, if you put out good, good will come back, and something good will happen to you too.
Yeah.
If you had that, if somebody needed a little bit of information from you and you had the opportunity to provide it, then why not? So that's the issue. Agents were like, oh no, who's this new guy on the block trying to pull some information and trying to take me down? But no, that wasn't necessarily it. It's like, hey, I'm trying to think about doing this. What do you think about it? Like, shut off, right?
Yes.
Like, no, I didn't feel like that was the way. So I was trying to figure out, what could be different about this industry.
Yeah, so it sounds like with everything you're saying, this is a great segue to talk about the company that you just founded. So the Pocket Network, that's the name of the company.
Yes.
And with everything, with your experience, it's actually really interesting because I spoke to a bunch of other real estate agents before starting with this podcast, and the answers were similar. Number one, networking is really difficult for people that are new.
Right.
And number two, just finding the right firm that not only fits your own culture and your own values, but then also, do I stick to everyone in this firm? Am I super loyal to them? And is it wrong if I even try to work with anyone outside the firm? So there's all of these mixed things. And it seems like the Pocket Network would help all of these people, whether it's people that are new or actually even people that are very experienced in the industry. So why don't you tell us more about that, the start of the company?
Right. So the start of the company, it was very interesting. One day I'm driving home and I'm thinking, and I had this buyer agent I was working with, and like, there's no properties, and every property that we would go see, it was like, 100 cash offers on it above asking, just forget about it. Basically, the listing agent would tell us. So I'm trying to figure out a way, and I was searching like, okay, there's a thing called pocket listings, right? Where they would listings either before they would hit the market on the MLS, or the seller would not want their house to hit the market, and the agent would try to sell it off with the agents in their network. So I'm trying to find stuff like that where there's houses posted somewhere that are pocket listings and they're not on the MLS yet or will never be, just so I can fulfill this buyer's needs, right? And I've been with them for like 2.5 months already shopping for a home, and it comes to a point where you don't want the buyer thinking that you're incompetent of doing your job, when that's not necessarily the case. The case is that there's no homes available, and whatever is available, the market is just absolutely insane, and the fight for it is so much more. So I was looking for a place where I can find pocket listings, and didn't come across anything major, obviously. So I sat down one night and I'm thinking, there has to be something where I can, outside of my brokerage, find something I can see, find new agents I can talk to, anything. I just want to get outside of my little circle that I've somewhat created in a short amount of time, and explore different opportunities or different mindsets, something outside of this little bubble I felt like I was in, and that's where the Pocket Network idea came from. So it essentially became into like a networking / educational website, where there's a main feed where agents can post anything they have, literally anything that they have questions with, that they figured out. Maybe there's a new law coming out, anything that they feel like they can give their input on, they're free to do so. Also, if agents need any help with anything, they can request assistance through there. And we have a bunch of different side pages where agents can create groups for themselves or groups for their teams. There's obviously going to be the podcasts that are going to be there. There's going to be an extensive video library where it's going to be me or other successful real estate agents talking about the market or talking about new techniques, tools, scripts, a bunch of different things that agents can use to grow and learn and expand their business. And this also follows into me thinking about who else we can bring onto the platform, which came on to, why don't we just include this and make this available for all real estate professionals? So, try to make it where lenders can communicate with everybody, or if you're a stager and, you're looking for new business or somebody needs a little bit of help with something, you can, join the platform and assist with that. Literally anything involved with real estate and in a single transaction or in the real estate professional industry, those professionals will be able to sign up for the network. And like I said, we're gonna have a bunch more. We're gonna have blogs that are gonna be posted on a few times a week with a ton of information that's gonna be very helpful for, again, everybody. It's not just for newer agents. It's gonna be for everybody in the industry involved. There's gonna be market updates. So essentially, what we've thought about doing is putting like 3, 4, 5 of the most popular platforms in real estate into one website.
Yeah.
I found myself going into website A to find my source of news, a website B to find my source of any updates and laws, website C to get any any news related or a market update and new agent program type of situations in website C. And every single website had a different thing. So I'm like, why don't we merge everything into one website and provide everything for everybody to join and take advantage of?
Yes.
And that's basically where the Pocket Network
Yeah,
came
I
from.
think that was one of the selling points for me, just learning more about your website. The more I learn about it, I actually did my own research at home just to see, is there really nothing like this on the market? Because I was in so much shock because there's such a huge gap when it comes to the networking aspect, and just real estate is such a huge industry, and it's not small money. It's always been such a huge industry.
Right.
And you would think that someone would see this gap in the market and fill that in. And then just out of real estate, anything. So I'm a marketing consultant, and I've realized that with my clients, a lot of my clients, they will pay money to have someone just come in regularly and do some research with them so that they're not overwhelmed by the amount of information that's available right now. With the internet, everyone can immediately become global.
Exactly.
So there's too much information, random people posting things, what's a credible source? So that's another selling point where people, it doesn't matter if you've been selling real estate for 50 years or if you've just been doing it for 50 days.
Yeah.
We'll have people that know what they're doing, that are collecting all this important, relevant information that's really going to make you succeed. So that was definitely a selling point for me. When I've been telling my friends about it, that's one thing that I highlight for sure. And just knowing that there's going to be successful people on this site that you can reach out to.
Right.
It's like there's companies that charge you, let's say, $2K to go to an event, to meet people, to network. But
Right.
then the person that can actually help you in the room, first of all, do you know who it is? How are you going to approach them? How do you keep their
Exactly.
attention? And then once they're out of that party, how do you make them come to remember you or even respond to your messages?
Exactly.
So then with this, it's like we can make personal recommendations. We can tell you, okay, this person would be a great mentor for you. You can reach out to them directly in the safety of your own home. So if you're new in the industry, you don't feel comfortable enough having one-on-one talks with anyone, you can be in your house and you could be messaging these people. You could take a breather if that's what you need. And then you really just, you really grow when it comes to networking and how to speak to a professional in front of you. So
Right.
that when you have that opportunity to go to conferences or any kind of networking event, you've kind of done it. You know how to talk to these people. You feel more confident. And then not to mention, if they've known you online, they've seen your photo, they might recognize you in person. Then if you've said something to them, you can be like, oh, hey, we spoke, and just have them remember
The
you in a different way.
opportunities will grow endless
Yeah.
after that because of that social, that connection that you made, because everything is going online now.
Yes.
So it's people have noticed that it's so much easier to connect online rather than, going to a party and figuring out if you should approach that person, if that's the right person to approach, right? So another main thing that we're based off of is going to be like absolutely no solicitation. So if you need information, that's when you will get information, right?
Yes.
There's another huge company, I don't want to mention their name, but it starts with the L and ends with the N, right? Where, you get 10 messages a day from people trying to offer their services.
I'm wondering what company that
Yeah,
is now.
Yeah, I forgot about it at this point. But I don't need you, Why are you
Yeah.
messaging me? Somebody wants to connect. Great, let's connect. We may work together in the future, but get out of my inbox while you're at it,
Yes.
3 messages per week trying to get my business, which I don't need. That fills up your inbox. You don't want to go back to that website, really, because
Yeah.
it's just like, you don't know what's real anymore, what's natural, who you can trust. But if there's a platform where you say, hey, Mr. Successful person in this industry, I'm looking for assistance to do this. Is there something you can help with? And guess what? That successful person from that industry, from that city, will be like, hey, you know what? If they want to help out, obviously, it's not going to be like forceful or you have to do this if you're part of the community. No, it's all open. It's free. It's do as you please, but obviously offer as much and as best of information as you possibly can.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it.
And I personally see a huge opportunity for people that are really successful already, for people that know what they're doing, because they might think, why do I need this? I'm already selling X amount of houses a week.
This is the best part of the
Yeah.
website.
So things have changed so much. Just think of the way there's social media, the way we have different types of new computer software being developed all the time. If you are 50 years old or 70 years old, doesn't matter. You might think you don't need it. I'm already successful on my own.
Yeah.
But if you have a chance to mentor someone, you will be amazed at what you will learn from someone that's new, someone that's doing all the research, someone who's hungry for all the information.
Exactly.
They might tell you, hey, try out the Pocket Network. And then through the Pocket Network, all of a sudden, it's not just these 85 people that I've been working with in Southern California. All of a sudden, you're networking with people across the globe.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you're not just an agent here, you're selling to people in Russia, in Armenia, in South Africa, selling them homes here because it's such a global network.
Exactly. Which also brings me to the point of the referrals that you'll be able to get. See, what occurs more with experienced agents, where they get to a point where they have so much, their clientele base is so big and their sphere of influence has expanded so much, where they just get random business and say they're based in California and they have a buyer that wants to invest in Texas, or they move to Texas and they want to buy their house there. Say, for example, they want to sell here and buy in Texas. Well, guess what, Mr. Experienced Agent? You got the sale here, great, right? But guess what? You just lost an opportunity in Texas because your buyer's going to go to Texas, and if you don't know anybody there, they're going to find somebody random. They're going to get the sale. You're going to get absolutely zero credit for them because, for example, the brokerage that you work with didn't have the opportunity for you to network with somebody in that different area, or whatever the situation may be. But hey, with the Pocket Network, you just hit a very simple post. I'm looking for a buyer's agent in this city, in this town, and whatever. And guess how many different agents will jump at the opportunity because they're hungry, they're willing to get it, they're willing to fight for it. And at this point, now you can interview different buyer agents, right? See who works for you. So see who will match your seller's personality, because now you know them and you want to match them up with somebody that works like you, because you'll make them, happy and make sure they're satisfied and never lose that relationship, because say they want to come back or whatever happens after that client stays a client forever because of what you did for them. And that goes into referring them to anything. Say you want to find a great lender, a great insurance agent, a well-versed home inspector that can help them out with certain issues that they're thinking about during their purchase. You refer them out, and you network with all these different professionals, and you see who fits best with you, who has the type of personality that works with you. If it's somebody that you're already working with, say a buyer or a seller, who do you think will match up best? If it's a language barrier, you'll already have a wide variety of options to choose from. Say you need a Spanish speaker, a Russian speaker, an Armenian speaker, whatever the situation may be, you have that opportunity. You won't let go of that sale. Whatever that referral fee may be, 25, 30, 50%, it's still money, and it still adds up to your GCI. So you really don't want to let those opportunities go. And with the Pocket Network, we allow you to hold on tight to those opportunities and make sure you profit on it as well.
Yeah,
so that's another.
And it's all about
point.
long term. So you're talking about a 25% referral fee, but that relationship you build with this person, what's going to happen when next thing you know, they're referring you people themselves for free, just because you match exactly what their client's looking for, what their lender's looking for. It doesn't matter who. So long-term opportunities are endless. Not to mention just natural career progression. There's people that, sure, they rock at selling houses, but that's not what they see themselves doing forever.
Right.
So what's next? What can we do with the Pocket Network? They can start hosting webinars. They can start teaching other people, and also developing younger people who can be on their team. They can still profit off of them if that's what they're looking for, but also just teaching other people. There's a beauty in that as well that I think, let's go into that aspect, the educational aspect of the Pocket Network.
Right. So when I started off with eXp Realty, I was assigned a mentor, Jackie, great mentor, by the way. And that's where I noticed this whole mentoring thing, right? After a certain amount of years doing in the industry, some people want to, back off the selling a little bit, say because they've built their team, or they've built equity in the company, or whatever the reason may be, or they just simply had that teaching aspect in them that they always wanted to do. And a lot of them start mentoring or become, so-called coaches or these real estate gurus, right? But, not to speak too too big or to the higher end coaches of the real estate world. Somebody simple, somebody from a local market, right? That is very successful, has a large team, and that wants to try something out, try something different, make some side passive income by doing something. So we're implementing development right now. It's still in beta version as of right now. But it's going to be as a successful real estate agent. What you can do is offer your mentorship. Say it's a one question that you want answered, or that that another agent wants answered, or it's a long series webinar that you want to do with them, or say it's a long term 1, 2, 3 year deal that you want to work out for a fee, obviously, and then you make your money there, and you turn into this mentor where a lot of people will start coming to you, and then now you back off your sales aspect of the real estate world, and you move into your mentorship. If that's something you obviously want to do. Now, it doesn't mean you need to do this long term. You can do this short term. You can do this for one time. Here, I'll answer a quick question, and boom, I made my money. I'm out.
Yeah.
Or if you feel like you want to move on to the whole mentorship program, our platform provides this for you. You don't need to make long-term coaching videos with step-by-step plans and create a website and create a business for yourself and all the headache that goes along with it. Our platform does that for you, right? All you have to do is get in contact with us, and we'll obviously set you up under that program, and you can make your money. And that fee, you charge whatever you want to charge. If you get paid for it, great. If people don't think you're worth it, well, okay, we'll change your pricing at that point. But it's completely up to you. You charge what you want to charge, and you move forward with your life there. And it's a great opportunity, again, for the reason what you asked is why experienced agents would sign up, because obviously experienced agents, they have their network, they have their referrals. They if they don't want to do business in Wyoming, they won't do business in Wyoming because they're so successful here. But there's more opportunities for you. And now you can sort of step into the teaching platform, and if not teaching, just make your side hustle, make your income on answering simple questions, just being active in the blogs and in the feeds, and something may spark in you. Moving forward from there. So there's that opportunity as well. It's still in the beta version. We're working on it as of right now, like I said, but it's going to be up soon, and it's going to be super, super exciting for all the experienced agents.
Honestly, I don't know why there was nothing like this on the market before. I think this is going to be so successful because it's really, really going to help not just the amateurs that are starting off, but people that have been in the game for a long time. There's an endless amount of opportunities for the Pocket Network itself.
Right.
And honestly, I can't wait to see what else we have, what other people, just the users themselves, can do with the actual website, because it's not very specific. It's so global, It's a global economy, it's a global world, and we are trying to make real estate professionals globalize their brand as well. So you're not just a real estate agent in California. You may be licensed in California, but the Pocket Network, I think, is really going to help and really inspire people to broaden not just their outlook, but their career and their entire world. Exactly. So I'm really excited to see what people do for this. I can't wait a year from now, 2 years from now, to hear stories of what people have done with this amazing website. And honestly, this is a genius idea. So kudos to you.
The best thing of all is that the main content is going to be provided by the users themselves.
Exactly.
Right? We're not out here saying, hey, you should do this way, and you'll do this and you'll be great and you'll be no, it's actual agents, right, from their actual experiences, providing actual resources and content for other agents or other lenders or anybody. This is available for everybody. Now, the tip of the triangle is the agent itself, and then everybody else follows along with it, because it's a sphere, and everybody works together. And like I said, no single transaction can close without having majority of these real estate professionals at work in that single transaction. So it's going to be awesome. I'm sure people are going to be super excited to sign up. It's free to sign up, so you really have nothing to lose. Sign up, check it out. Yeah. You can grow from this, and I'm 100% sure you will grow from this. Even with the simple blogs that we put out, we try to make it as simple and as updated as you possibly can, because a lot of other places you see old, boring, 15-minute reads about some law that you may not even understand. So what we try to do is make it simplified, make it easy for somebody to read and understand, and talk to their clients about it and all that stuff. So like I said, I'm super, super excited for this. I can't wait till we're officially launched and open
Yeah.
to all the
The
all the members.
possibilities are really endless. And it's not just that, but you yourself, you'll be doing your own educational videos. So tell us more about what we can expect from you.
Yeah, I will be doing, video libraries of, simple, very simple, maybe 3 to 5 minute videos of scripts that you can tweak, little techniques here and there, tactics that you can use of how to prospect, when to prospect, to whom to prospect. Simple stuff like that, nothing too crazy, just a quick learn that you can, consume while you're driving or something really quickly and get on the road with it. I'll also doing like monthly market updates for all of US, just so agents can take a look at a 15-minute video and figure out the numbers. If we're high this month, we're low this month, what the interest rates are. I have a great lender that's going to be coming along with me on this one for the market updates. So you'll get the housing update along with the interest rate and the mortgage updates, and get a really quick glimpse of what's going on. So information is key, and that's what we're trying to provide, is a bunch of information, but as simplified and as what would you say, as easily accessible as possible, and that's what we'll be doing. I will be here on the podcast, I'm sure, here and there, but yeah, I'll be focusing a lot on the video content, and I'll be around for sure. I'll be on the website, trying to help everybody out.
Thank you so much, Edward. Honestly, this has been really educational for me as well. And thank you so much for coming, for taking your time for today. And I can't wait. I think I speak for all our listeners when I say I cannot wait to see what content you have prepared for us. The team at Pocket Network, I know they're working really hard. Can't wait to see what we can do with the website. And honestly, I really, really, really can't wait to see what the people at home have for us, because everything is going so inspiring just for me, and I'm not trying to sell houses right now, and honestly I'm like, maybe let's cut this short, let me get out of here, and maybe I can sell a house after speaking with you. And Edward, let's let our listeners know where they can contact you, where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, so I'll obviously be on the Pocket Network. Message me, DM me, do whatever you want with me on the Pocket Network. I'm also available on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn at Edgar Hakobyan. And as far as the Pocket Network, we'll be live on YouTube, Spotify, everywhere you can listen to podcasts, and yeah, we'll be every single content social media platform that there's available will be there, and anybody can reach me at the Pocket Network at any time, and I'll be happy to assist.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you so much. Everything will be linked on our website. You can find all of Edward's information, the Pocket Network's information. So until next week, thank you guys so much for listening. We're so excited to produce more content for you. We hope we motivated you, we inspired you, and always remember, change begins at home.
Thanks, Margarita.